Hello, time to go back to the Academy with episode 8 of Boku no Hero Academia Season 4.
I'll be cheering right now, but illness has taken hold of my throat. So, apologies if I'm on the quieter side.
I think this was a pretty good episode. That kind of you got right talking about Suneater last week.
I noticed that, although there was some points I did not get right.
Right.
I was not expecting him to be able to combine the powers. That was not something I think I thought of. However, he can eat people and take their quirks.
And he can eat things that aren't necessarily food, like that one dude's crystals.
Yes, which technically I think is part of his body. So he can eat human and replicate the quirk.
And I was looking at his quirk. I think it was.
Oh, also, we saw he can do plants too in the flashbacks.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I was right about that too. So it's not just meat.
So I was looking at his quirk, or things about his quirk on Tuesday or Wednesday, and it seems that he could eat bone too, but as long as he can digest it, he can absorb its power, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and speaking about digesting, that eat guy was creepy.
Like he reminded me of Scarecrow from
Batman.
Batman the Animated Series. Yeah. Um, yeah. He looks real creepy with those like bulging eyes coming out of the sack he's wearing, and apparently his stomach is just infinite.
Just like Kirby.
He's Kirby, except he doesn't just suck it in. He bites down.
Oh, Kirby is basically eat plus Suneater.
You know, I'm wondering now, could you technically just like shove a big cork in his mouth? Because I mean, if he can't get the force to bite down, he's stuck.
Maybe.
It's either that or give him a muzzle, I guess. One of the two. That'd be the only way to really stop him, I guess.
Okay, wait. Doing a complete 90-degree sidetrack here.
Okay.
Do you remember Road Rovers?
Fucking, I'm like the only person that ever remembers that show.
Well, you have a new member of the Hey, I remember Road Rovers club.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And
You're remembering the guy that was in like the straight jacket cart with the muzzle on his face? Is that right?
yes, and his name was actually Muzzle, if I remember correctly.
The one who was like stark raving mad?
Oh my god, I will need to watch Road Rovers sometime.
You know, looking back on that show now, I'd be real curious if they took that in a darker tone, like a Batman the Animated Series tone, and how that would have changed things.
Um,
Like, because how dark would it have made that character?
Muzzle or the evil cat villain?
I honestly don't remember the villain. I remember all the dog heroes. I was thinking more along the lines of Muzzle.
Oh, making him like some dark vigilante.
Well, no, I mean, like, if the whole show was in that dark tone, how would that have affected him, considering he's kind of played for laughs for the most part in the show, from what I remember? How much darker would it be for him? Because he's just straight up crazy. He'd be the last resort to unleash on their enemies.
Okay, taking a 180-degree turn back to My Hero Academia.
Uh-huh, okay, yeah, sure. We don't have talking dog people in that show yet.
But we do have a talking ferret?
I'm not sure what the principle is. We have a centipede man though.
Who is more than just a centipede head.
His arms are centipedes too, apparently. I'm starting to wonder if he's just a bundle of centipedes. Uh-oh.
Computer update.
No text message, and it's something that doesn't matter.
Awesome. The episode starts off with Suneater reminiscing about elementary school where he first met Lemillion.
Yes, where he met Mirio, and how Mirio was his inspiration to be better. and the relationship was vice versa as well. Mirio liked the fact that like even if he wasn't doing great, he was always giving it his all to try.
And this could have just been character building for Suneater. I just feel like something is going to happen to Mirio.
I think so too, but that's also because he ran ahead on his own.
I don't know what, but eh.
Like it's the fact that he went ahead on his own that I'm like something bad's gonna happen to this guy.
Yeah. We also have um Vanilla Ice. No, no, not Vanilla Ice. Who was that dude from JoJo that like the reality warping guy that only had like a quarter of an episode?
Uh,
Oh, Tenor Sax. And its user Kenny G.
what was its ability?
Illusions. And
Oh, that's right. He was the guy that was literally taken out in one shot, and he didn't even get a name.
I was thinking it was more reality warping because he turned Dio's castle into something much bigger.
Uh huh.
And I'm like, okay, he was easily defeated, but isn't that kind of what happened here with the underground becoming something weird with like the floor waving, like holes opening up underneath everybody?
I mean, the way it was described is that the guy's literally controlling the whole of the environment.
Since he more injected himself with a drug and now he can supercharge his way into entire buildings.
Yeah, before they said it was something like the size of a fridge or smaller. But with that drug, I guess it's the entirety of that, or at least a good chunk of that underground concrete facility.
Which is disturbing but awesome that this drug gives you so much power.
Like I'm wondering just how far that can be pushed. Like that ability of his, right? Like what are the restrictions on it? Like obviously up until he got the drug it was like a size thing, but now like how much is he able to warp? If you attack the walls themselves, does that also damage him? Like how much of him is actually part of the wall in that sense, I guess. Because like now that he's merged with it, is it like the same idea of like his arm is that wall over there, or his foot is over there, or is it just that now, you know, he's just using it like it's a tool?
I think maybe more of a tool than actually becoming the entire thing. Because remember, Eraserhead says I can't erase his quirk unless I'm looking at his body.
Yeah, but for all he knows, the body spread out completely. In which case, he wouldn't have any idea what to look at.
Right. So we have Suneater fighting off against Crystal Guy, Eat, and Larceny, I think his name was.
His quirk was called that. Yeah.
I
I don't.
think Larceny was a pretty interesting quirk that he can just force grab anything away from you.
I don't even know if it's like. Or no, he does. He does. It is force grab. That's right, because you get to see it like coming to his hand. My question is if he can control that in any way. Like, can he control like how it gets to his hand? Like, can he make it do an arc, or is it only ever like straight from point A to point B?
Oh, so could it go around somebody and into his hands?
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, like if he's looking at somebody, say in like a crowded space, right? Could he just like use larceny and take the lady's purse and just have it like zip around the crowd until it got to his hand? Or is it like gonna get caught like between people until it finally gets through to him?
Not sure.
Also, he can make that really lethal now that I'm thinking about it, depending on how he
Swords.
uses it. Yeah. Well, not even that, right? Like straight up just if he's trying to grab something that's on the other side of you, and it's like a nails or something like that, as simple as that, yeah, those are going right into you. Hell, actually, we brought up JoJo's before. Think of it like Bastet, where it was like the magnetic outlet.
Oh no.
Just think of it in that kind of way. You could use it that way.
That's not good.
No. Obviously, he probably has, restrictions on just what it can do and what it can grab. It's probably only able to get like certain sized items. Although with the drug, you could probably pull cars, at least.
Probably. So it seems next week we'll be focusing on Red Riot.
And Fat Gum, because it sounds like they get separated. There's a lot of good action scenes in this episode. I'll be honest, I liked it. We really got to see Suneater display a lot of cool shit. Like, I love that Kraken move where it's just an armored tentacles. That's awesome.
Although the swordfish didn't come into play yet.
No, so that means he's not finished yet, as far as I can tell. He's got to have something else if that swordfish was a thing.
Because my guess was going to be Larceny would try to steal the swordfish and get pierced.
Well, I mean, my other thought would be that he was going to battle Larceny because Larceny had the sword at one point with the swordfish on his arm.
Right.
I figured he was going to like Mega Man the laser sword onto his arm and just fight him with it.
Oh, wow.
I feel like Suneater's got another part to play considering that hasn't shown up yet. And there's no reason to say about eating the swordfish unless that's going to be a plot point.
Chekhov's swordfish.
Yeah, no, I liked it. There was a really interesting comparison of bonds between villains and bonds between heroes. Definitely the idea of just like overhaul or overload. I always fucking forget which one it is.
I think it's Overhaul.
Either way, he saved them, I guess, from their own misery and problems, and as such, they are desperately loyal to him. Which it creates a kind of like a relatable kind of feeling to the villains, which is always the best way to handle them. It's like this guy, even if he's using you for, to be a piece of shit, he technically saved you from your own hatred of yourself, considering you were in such bad situations. So yeah, a lot of good in this episode. It's not like the setup of the last one where there was nothing much to say.
Yeah.
I will say the crystal dude totally reminded me of Ben 10. Can't help it. He fucking like has diamond powers.
Oh, yeah. Didn't one of his forms have, like, diamond powers, too?
One of his forms are just straight up a diamond man that could like form different parts of his body into different, crystallized weaponry.
I was kind of into Ben 10, but not that much.
The first season was good. I didn't care for anything that really came after that because it kind of lost its touch to my, at least to me anyway.
So I guess that wraps up this episode review.
Yeah. Best episode so far, I think, of the show. Not of this. This is terrible. What are we doing here?
Yeah, we're just reviewing My Hero Academia.
I get that, but I mean, why are we even doing it? We're terrible. Just listen to the audience. You hear the booze?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I know you desperately want to laugh right now, but you really can't because that will only cause you pain.
I would love to laugh, except I will devolve into a coughing fit that will then hurt my throat.
Yeah, don't worry, man. Hopefully by next week you'll feel better.
Ideally, yes. I think I will, yes. So let's hope for that.
Here's hoping to that, and we'll catch everybody next week.
Goodbye. Don't get sick.